As Hollywood enters the crucial summer box office season, there are some troubling signs for the movie business this year. Early receipts for this past weekend show it'll be the weakest Memorial Day long weekend in nearly 3 decades. New releases Furiosa and Garfield projected to take in roughly $31 million each by the end of the day today, with the latest Mad Max film underperforming expectations. For a reaction to all of this, let's bring in film critic Richard Crouse. Richard, great to have you back with us. What happened?
Well, I think that the studios have changed the way that they release films, and by extension, we have changed the way that we watch them. So over COVID, the studios were unexpectedly stuck with some very big movies that they didn't really know what to do with. The theaters were closed, and who would be able to predict when they were going to reopen. So they turned to their streaming services, and people at home got used to seeing what would have been first-run movies in theaters. They got used to seeing them at home. Even though the experience, I don't think, is anywhere near the same, it is certainly cheaper to watch a film at home. There's no one texting in front of you. There's, all the stuff that people complain about going to the movies. You can now have the experience, sort of, kind of watching a movie at home without all the distractions. And so when big movies like Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, come along, or The Fall Guy a few weeks ago when that opened, 2 big stars, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, headlining that one, the studios went all out, marketed it very heavily, and people didn't turn up in the numbers that were expected. And now The Fall Guy, after just, barely 3 weeks in theaters, is already going to streaming. I think that if we were to expand that window and say no movie theatrically released will be on a streaming service for at least 6 months, that people would see the virtue of seeing it in a theater. Say it's a special kind of event to go to the theater, instead of saying, well, in 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be able to watch it at home anyway. So I think the studios have really kind of stepped on their own feet with this new kind of marketing plan that they're doing, trying to make the movies as accessible as possible on streaming, has devalued the theatrical experience.
Do you think they had a false sense of victory last summer with Barbenheimer? Because, Oppenheimer, in that movie, what's unique is you've got a director in Chris Nolan who is going to shout from the rooftops about the importance of the cinema experience. And they were able to carry that messaging through, I think, to make it really about getting out to the theaters. And even Barbie, it was like a cultural phenomenon, and everybody wanted to, I was there, I was wearing my pink, doing all that stuff. So I guess I wonder if those were unique success stories, and now we're just back to what you talked about, which is the reality of a streaming world.
Well, I think that they were certainly unique. The idea that organically online, Barbie and Oppenheimer, 2 movies that could really not have much less to do with one another, would become kind of connected and become this phenomenon where people were dressing up to go see both of them and pushing both of them over $1 billion at the box office. That's pretty special stuff, and that doesn't happen very often. I think that we are, as the summer moves on, if the studios handle things properly, I think we're looking at Inside Out 2 being a big hit. I think Fly Me to the Moon with Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum has a chance of really getting some people in theaters. Twisters, and then the one that everybody is looking forward to be kind of the savior of the summer, movie-wise, is Deadpool and Wolverine with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. This is the movie that people are now setting their sights on, saying this is the one finally that will get people back in theaters.
Yeah, sequels always, in theory, are part of the summer recipe, so maybe we're just getting back to that. We're almost out of time, but the Garfield movie, I was a little confused on that, too, and I feel like I heard you talking about this before the release, that for the Garfield that some of us thought we knew, the film itself had kind of a different message.
Well, they took 50 years of Garfield lore in the comic strip and ignored pretty much all of it. I mean, he eats lasagna. That's the big, calling card, I guess, for Garfield. But he's also supposed to be sardonic, lazy, sleeps all the time, frequent napping. And they got rid of all of that and placed him in the middle of what is essentially really a generic action story for kids. And I think that kids will probably enjoy it. 10 or 11-year-olds, less so parents. I don't think there's a lot there for adults, but it's not a Garfield movie, even though it's called the Garfield movie. It's not really true to its origins.
All right. At the end of the day, so it sounds like you think Inside Out is going to be a movie that can get people into the theaters this summer, that the studios could still walk away, if not with some wins this summer, maybe with a new thinking around what the messaging is around movies that are in theaters versus the streaming window times.
All you have to do is look back to Top Gun Maverick. That movie was done before COVID, and Tom Cruise said, I'm not releasing it to streaming. This is a theatrical experience. And when it goes to theaters, it has to stay in theaters. Now, I can't remember the exact date, but he had a very specific number, 176 days or something like that. And it went on to make $1.5 billion, because if you wanted to see it, and a lot of people wanted to see it, it's a sequel to a well-loved movie, big action scenes, all that kind of thing, perfect kind of summer movie. People wanted to see it, and they had to go to the theater to see it. That's what the studios have to get back to. Otherwise, we're going to see big movies like Furiosa, like The Fall Guy, I think, underperform because people will say, maybe I don't want to spend the money at the theater. I'm already paying for the streaming service. I'll just stay at home.
All right, Richard.